Hey everyone, in this video I am going to teach you about the English names for the grass-type Pokémon and what the parts of their names actually mean, and at the end I'll do a ranking for them to see which ones actually make sense. Starting with Pokémon number 1, we have Bulbasaur, and a bulb is the chunky part of a plant that grows underground, which you can see on Bulbasaur's back. Saur is actually a part of dinosaur, the word dinosaur. It's in many dinosaur names, and it is Greek for lizard. Do you think Bulbasaur makes sense? Number 2, we have Ivysaur. This one also is a plant. An ivy is a kind of plant that can climb up walls. Some people also call this kind of plant a vine, which kind of makes sense because Vine Whip is one of this Pokemon's attacks, and it's another plant that can climb, and again, Saur is from dinosaur. Number 3, we have Venusaur or Venusaur, and this is getting a little bit weird, but Venus is the second planet from the sun, and it's the Roman goddess of love. I don't really see the connection there, but a Venus flytrap is a plant that traps and eats bugs. We don't see that plant anywhere on this Pokemon, so maybe it just doesn't make sense. And again, Saur is part of dinosaur. Next up, number 43 is Oddish. Seems like a simple name, but odd is a word that means strange or weird, goofy, kind of like this Pokemon's face. And the dish part probably comes from the end of radish, which is a root vegetable that is in the shape of Oddish. So this name kind of makes sense to me. I like this one. Next up we have Gloom, another short, simple name, and it is all one syllable, so gloom are feelings of sadness and despair, which we can see on Gloom's face. And also bloom is sort of like this, which is another name for a flower, and it's a verb for a flower opening up. Third in this evolution, we have Vileplume. And vile is a word that means disgusting or awful. So if you look at Vileplume's face, that's probably not where this one comes from. But plume is used to mean feather, and now it means things that are shaped like a feather, usually. So things like volcano smoke or the smoke that rises. And maybe that's where we get vile, because I'm pretty sure Vileplume has some stinky attacks. Next up, next evolution here starts with Bellsprout, and a bell is very simply the shape of its head, right? It looks like some flowers that have that shape as well, and a sprout is just a baby plant. This one makes sense because this is the first Pokemon in this evolution, and so it's a sprout. Next we have Weepinbell. Weepinbell at number 70. Weep is a verb that means being sad and crying. Sort of like maybe this Pokemon's face, I'm not sure. Weeping Willow is another kind of plant. And bell is again the shape of its head. It's still the same shape. It's just grown up a little bit. Third in the evolution we have Victreebel. And again, just like Venusaur, this is where it gets a little weird. Victory means to win or be a champion, and it has the word tree in it, like a plant, I guess. But then Bell, for some reason, there's only one L at the end of it. It is shaped like a pitcher plant, which is kind of an interesting design, and it's a flycatcher Pokemon. Next, we have Execute. Execute. It's got the word egg in it, which it's an egg Pokemon. Okay, that makes sense. Cute, alright, they could be sort of cute, but the whole word, execute, sounds like the word execute, which means to kill someone as a punishment or carry out an action or orders, do something. Maybe that's where it comes from. Execute. This one doesn't make any sense to me at all. The next evolution of execute is Exegutor. And again, executor is the killer for the punishment, or the one who carries out the action, someone who does something. But this Pokemon is now changed to a coconut Pokemon, and it continues to keep the word egg in it. I don't like this one. I don't think this name really makes any sense at all. Next, the standalone Pokemon Tangela. Tangela. Well, a tangle is a twisted mess, a big knot of something. And as a grass Pokemon, this could be a tangle of vines or tangle of roots. I'm not sure. It's blue. I don't know which one it could be then, but this is a very simple name. It's a tangled mess, Tangela. Alright, and like I said, I will rank these Pokemon purely by how much their names make sense here at the end of this video. The ones that I really don't like very much are Victory Bell, that one L at the end really bothers me, and then Venusaur. Venusaur, just don't like it. Also down here, Exeggutor, because it's not an egg anymore, but it keeps the egg in the name. I think they could have done better. In the C tier, we start with Weepinbell. It's alright, it's not really a sad-looking Pokemon at all, but Weepinbell. Followed by Gloom. Just seems too simple to me. Gloom is a real word. I think they could have been more creative. In B tier, we start with Exeggcute, which is a pretty good name because it is just eggs and execute. It's a good play on that word. Also in B tier, Ivysaur. It's getting better, much better than Venusaur, because Vine Whip is such a cool attack, and Ivy and Vine can be very similar. We also have Tangela. It's a very simple name for what it is. It's just a tangle, but the at the end sort of makes it sound like an actual name. Moving into A tier, Bulbasaur. Number 1, Bulbasaur. It's just a bulb dinosaur. Perfect. Vileplume. It's up here too. It does not look like a mean or scary Pokemon, but when you smell it, then it gets worse. And then Oddish here. I like this one because radish is its shape, and it's just a little bit goofy. Oddish. But the S tier grass-type Pokemon name has to be Bellsprout, because it is a sprout. It has a bell for a head. It starts an evolution, all with the word bell in it right there. So that's that. That's the end of our ranking of grass-type Pokemon. I hope you learned something, and you can tell me, which one would you want to see next? Would you like to see electric-type Pokemon from Generation 1 or fire types? Learning about their names and ranking them if they make sense. See y'all next time. Bye.